This is Megan with 10,000 Swords Coaching, and it's Thursday, so here I am. I look a little spent. It was rainy this morning, and my hair is like, it's its own thing anyway, but I'm here, and I wanted to talk to you this week about the words, what if? In my whole anxiety journey, one of the things that I know held me back the most were these stories that, if you are an anxiety sufferer, you understand, because we are incredibly creative and really believable in our own minds, right? So we use these words, what if, like they're fact. And actually, when we say what if, it's like this idea that we have in our head, like, well, I mean, what if I go outside and a meteor falls on my head? What if I get in my car and I drive off a cliff? What if my kidneys are shutting down right now? What if all of these things that we come up with that, sorry, I wanted to reply to that. What if all of these stories that we come up with that we tell ourselves and then we believe them? And here's the thing. What if it's not true? Right? Did you ever stop to think about that? Like, you don't have to believe everything that you think. Like, just because you think something doesn't make it true. Like, I think maybe it'll storm later. I think it's going to storm later. Does that mean it's actually going to storm later? No, not necessarily, right? Or I think that the sky could turn purple later. Well, you can think anything. That doesn't mean you have to believe it, all right? So when we use the words what if, and we use those words as the truth, they feed our anxiety, all right? So be careful what you are creating in your head and what you are actually believing, because the stories that you tell yourself become your reality, even if it's not everyone else's reality. Are you following me there? So it creates this thought cycle. It creates this idea that I'm telling myself this thing that scares me because I think I'd better be prepared. When in all actuality, you are worrying for, you're kind of like, so this quote, again, I'm going to go back to this quote that I always talk about. We're wishing for what we don't want. Okay? Worry is literally wishing for what you don't want. And when you say, what if this bad thing will happen? It's because you don't want it to happen. So instead, what if you tried saying, what if I succeed? So let's take for a second, let's say you're afraid to go out in public, because this is a really common fear for a lot of teenagers that I work with in my coaching and a lot of adults that I work with in my coaching, that they're really, really afraid to go out of the house. Do you hear that? That is my dog. And she is very bossy. Georgia, say hello. Now be quiet. So what if becomes our truth. And the more that we feed it and the more that we give it power, the more that we dive into that cycle of anxiety. So instead of telling ourselves these scary, scary things about what if what we don't want, what if what we do want? So I'm going to go back, I'm going to circle around now, right? So if you are afraid of going out, okay, let's say that you have this fear that you're going to go out and everyone's going to look at you, or you're going to go out and you're going to trip and fall, or you're going to say something to embarrass yourself. And that keeps you stuck in your house because you really can't handle the idea of someone looking at you. And you've said, what if they think I'm stupid? What if they think I'm ugly? What if they think I'm... whatever that story is that you're telling yourself, you've created all these situations that actually have never happened, right? Because you've said, what if this? But what if instead you said, what if they think I'm a genius? What if they're like, you know what, she's really funny. What if I could have her hair? I wonder if, what if I could be as good of a speaker as she is? She seems so confident. What if you said those things instead? Or for me, mine was always, what if this sick feeling in my stomach is cancer? What if I have a horrible disease? What if I'm gonna die soon? What if I have this? What if I have to like say goodbye to my kids and do all of these awful, awful situations that I would create? Here I am. I gave all of my energy to these horrid stories that never happened. So what I'm going to challenge you to do this week is to change your narrative. All right? You have proven that you can write horror. Congratulations, you are the next M. Night Shyamalan, right? You are it. You are it. You are a creative genius when it comes to horror stories. Now write adventure. Okay? Write romance. Write comedy. Write power. Write like Marvel movies, whatever. Write superhero. Because there's more to life than horror stories, okay? Change your narrative this week. Catch yourself saying, what if, and then challenge it. And just say, what if I'm telling myself a bunch of bullshit? Why? Why am I telling myself this? Call it what it is, okay? Call it what it is. You guys can do this, and this is a really good step towards really breaking that habit with anxiety, all right? What I'm gonna tell you next is that I have a free webinar coming up. I have 4 dates. There's 2 in March and 2 in April. One is gonna happen on April 1st, and the other one doesn't happen until April 13th because I'm gonna go on spring break, okay? But take some time to go to 10,000swords.com/events and find a date that works to you. They're all at 7 o'clock Eastern time in the evening. So find a date, grab a snack, grab a piece of paper and a pencil, come hang out with me. If you are afraid of talking on a video or something like that, you don't have to. It's a webinar. I'll do all the talking for you. All you have to do is listen, take some notes, and if you have questions, you can type them in a chat box. You don't even have to talk, all right? But you can start taking some really fantastic steps to controlling your anxiety, to breaking that habit, and to learning why the heck anxiety does this to you anyway, okay? The physical process of anxiety is not a habit, but your reaction to it is, and this week we are changing our reaction with our what ifs. Go make some magic. Write a good story. Literally write it, all right? I will see you guys next week. Take care.